Okay, hello and welcome to Freedom of Flow course session 2. Okay, today we did a recap of session 1, which was forwards 2 beat into our 1 beat isolation on our hip, our backwards 2 beat, 1, 2, 1, 2, into our backwards 1 beat on our hip. And today we worked on isolating up on our shoulder and a big arm isolation. So what that looks like is isolating on our shoulder with the back of the head, coming down into isolating on our hip with the front of the head. So now we're just breaking down our 2 beat into 2 single beats. 1 beat on our shoulder, nice and loose in the wrist. If it helps, you can even sway your body into a 1 beat on our hip, nice and loose in the wrist. If it helps, you can sway your body and you're following the energy of the staff even more. 2 beats into what we tried for the first time today was our 1 beat, our isolation, our big arm isolation. So the way to do that is lock it in place behind our arm, and we do learning any isolation we learn in quarters. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you've found the quarters, we can find a smooth circle. It can really help to open up your chest to create space. I'm pointing this direction, pointing this direction, pointing this direction, pointing this direction. Big arm isolation into a 1 beat on our hip, 1 beat on our hip into a 2 beat, 2 beats into a 1 beat on our shoulder, 1 beat on our shoulder into a big arm isolation. This has all been in the forwards direction. Now everything in the backwards. 2 beats, 1 beat, 1 beat, big arm isolation. Now the fun part is we can transition at any of our quarters. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. And we can transition into a 1 beat, or into a 2, or into a 1, into a 2, into a big arm isolation, into a 1, 2, big. There is no wrong, as long as we know our transition points are in the quarters. At any point, transition, at any point, transition, any point, transition. As long as it comes from our quarters. That way we don't get lost. If we start trying to transition in the middle, it can be very confusing, especially when we start adding in more beats. Okay, that was forwards and backwards. 1 beat low, 1 beat high, 2 beats. Remember, with 2 beat, very important to be transitioning on our side. The pivot point on our side. Pivot, pivot. If we come all the way in front, we've got to come all the way back. So it's easier to learn with this transition point on our side. And the trick is just nice and loose in the wrist. You can come all the way in front, but the bad habit is when you come in front, you don't come all the way back and we start to lose our plane. See how we're starting to lose that plane? So the trick is you've really got to come all the way in front, all the way behind. So that's really important fundamentals to be able to transition. And we also added in a big arm isolation to start to get our isolations working. 1 way, other way, normal spinning, isolating, isolating. Once that feels comfortable, the next really easy step from here is to transition in front of our body, low and high, and behind our body, low and high. And I'll give you a quick little demo. Transitioning low, transitioning high. Transition point is just up and down, thumbs up. Transition point, up and down, thumbs up. So the trick is, when we're doing a forwards figure of 8, the transition point is always down low. When we're doing a backwards 2-beat or figure of 8, the transition point is always up high. Low, up high. And you can always do extra beats through here, always do extra beats through here, but the trick is transitioning low, transitioning high, low, and high. Okay, so you can see the exact same from behind. Forwards to begin with, transitioning low, hands up at the back, transitioning high, hands down. Forwards, just getting comfortable. Extra beats just to find our up and down. Backwards, getting comfortable. And transitioning and facing down. Now we can start to play with this. We can transition behind, we can transition in front. Behind, in front, behind, behind, in front, in front. Yep. And once this is comfortable, it'll be easy enough to, if you're finding it a little bit confusing at all, just stop and get comfortable. Backwards, stop, forwards. Just get comfortable again. Once that's comfortable, then it's fun to move through continuous changes. Boom, 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 boom. And we can do the same at the back. Back, get comfortable. Get comfortable. Showing you like this. Comfortable. Change. Comfortable. Change. Once this is comfortable, we can just do it continuous. Change. 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 Once this is comfortable, we can mix fronts and backs together. Front, back, front, back. Now front down low, back up high. Back down low, front up high. Once you've gone one direction, low, high at the front, low, high at the back, back the other direction. High, low, high, low. Once you've done back two, front two, you can start to interchange them. High at the front, low at the back, high at the back, and low at the front. So as you can see, you've got 4 different ways to change hands, not even including extra beats. So you've got 2 at the front, high and low, 2 at the back, high and low, changing between front and back, and then you have the other direction. So you've really got 8 different changes to practice. That is a really good home for the fundamentals of single staff spinning or double staff spinning. It's very similar for double staff. Then it's just mixing the combinations together. A 1 beat, change, a 1 beat low. 1 beat low, change, big arm isolation, change, big arm isolation, change behind. Now you've got a whole bunch of stuff you can combine on your hip, on your shoulder, behind, in front. The world is really your oyster. But the most important thing is we're comfortable with our 1 beats on our hip, our 1 beats on our shoulder, our 2 beats, forwards and backwards, 1 beat on our shoulder, 1 beat on our hip. And once this is comfortable, changing hands, you'll always end up in the opposite. So if I'm in a forwards, 2 beat here, forwards, front of the hand leading, change hands, you'll always end up in the opposite. Now we're in a backwards. 1, 2, 1, 2, changing from a backwards, always into a forwards. That'll happen very naturally, but it's nice to know once you start to feel it and see it. If you ever get confused, oh, which way did I change into? Yep, forwards, very easy. Which way am I going now? Backwards, very easy. Very good things to know and understand. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a recap of session 2. If you have any questions or need anything broken down more, please send me a video or a message. Happy to help. Well done. Freedom of Flow course session 2.